Lewis with Strictly Front Wheel Drive here. I got a treat for you today. I just got out of work early, so I'm going to take the advantage and use the time to my advantage and go home and show you what just came in yesterday. I'm going to wait till I get home to show you guys and explain what's going on and all that stuff. But I've been telling you guys for a while that I was going to get. They finally came in, so I can proceed with my plans. It's for the Civic. I'll let you guys take a guess. So I'm gonna head home right now, and then when I get there, I'll show you guys what I got and what the plans are. I'm back here. First off, you might be wondering why I'm plugged in, but the reason being was the external mic that I bought for my camera. It would pick up good quality sound, but when I would drop something or I would make a loud noise or something like that, it wouldn't mute the sound a little bit. So it kind of made it hard to edit the video because there was a lot of points where I wanted to point out on the last video, and I had to edit it out because it was just a whole bunch of banging and clanking, and the mic was just basically going too high, and it was picking up too high of a signal where it would just I don't know, distort, I would say. So I'm plugged into my my work headphones, or whatever it is, wireless Bluetooth that I use for my truck, picking up calls and listening to music and stuff like that. So I'm just going to be using that from now on, since I do record on my phone. So, but this is going to be more of a review or just a showing of the parts that I got. I'm not going to be assembling anything today, just because of the fact that I ran out of plastic gauge. I have just a tiny bit left, and I'm going to need more plastic gauge for what I'm about to show you. And I don't have that on hand today. I'm probably going to pick it up tomorrow or the next day. I'm not sure if I'll just incorporate that video with this one yet, or I'll just make a totally separate video. So, but without further ado, here's what I got. First off, we have here, you might be wondering what the hell happened to the box, but my dog, I have a brand new, I have a newborn pit bull, and she's a pup, so she got to the box, but thankfully she didn't get to the rest of the piston rings or any of that, so we're gonna go ahead and show them off anyway. So basically it comes with the first, the second, and the oil rings. Nothing fancy. These are, I believe, nitrate coated. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with heat, with the amount of heat it can take, so that might be a good thing for what I'm doing because it's boost. The first box we're going to open here is the scat rods. I was researching for a while, trying to find like a happy medium rod where it would work for my application. I'm not trying to make tons of power, but I am trying to make fun, decent power, more than I already made with the B16. So I found scat rods. I was doing a lot of research on them. I was also looking at can't talk right now. I was also looking at another company, and further others actually, and I went with Scat. Had a lot of good reviews on them. I saw a lot of people using them, and I just decided to go with them. So inside the box here, when you open it up, it has some kind of warning here. It's just basically just things to watch out for and all that stuff. So it comes with 2 stickers. Scat, guess where those are going? Yeah, buddy. On my Civic. It comes with fastener assembly lube, because these do come with ARP 2000 alloy bolts already on them. The rods themselves are 4340 high strength. They claim to be pre-balanced from factory, so that way it saves some time on machine work and stuff like that. They are H-beam. They're steel forged, from what I read. I had already opened one, obviously. So these are the rods here. I have to say, just by looking at them, as soon as I saw them and opened them, I fell in love with them, because they're just really well made. You have a couple oil galleries here on the side. It looks like a brass insert here. So I'm not sure if these can be replaced after. Maybe they could be machined and remade if that end ever goes bad. Not entirely sure, but like I said, they look really well made. They already have ARP bolts on them, like I said. It says 2000 on them. You guys can pick that up. The camera can clear up. But yeah, ARP 2000s has some writing on the side here. I'm not sure what that's all about. Oh, it's the I guess it's a stamping of maybe the code on the rods. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. So obviously I got 4 of them. They came in a pack. 1, 2, 3, 4. They did come with a what looks like a connecting rod information sheet, which is actually pretty cool. Shows a recommended torque for I guess the size of the ARP bolt on it. So we're going to put that back. And obviously I didn't just get pistons and piston rings. Got some pistons. And some of you guys are going to call me, but I went with the Nippon pistons. They are 81 millimeter. They're low compression. So it means I'm going to be able to push more boost, which is good. They come with the, which I haven't even taken off yet. Let me get a razor. So they come with the wrist pin clips. They're in a bag here. Just take them off real quick. Not sure what kind of clips they are right now. I have to look at them. They look like they're spiral clips. Not entirely sure. Yeah, they're spiral clips. They're not just your normal C clips, which is fine. It's not too bad. These are just a little harder to put in, I think, than the other ones, than just the C clips. But we'll get them in there. We'll make them work. Put those aside. I had already opened these, and what I actually did was, because I was curious, because from what I was reading, the rods themselves, they said they were already balanced. I wasn't sure about the pistons, so I took it upon myself to to weigh them, and they were all within, I would say, maybe plus or minus half an ounce. So I'm going to leave them alone. Not going to do anything with them. But this is how they come in a box. Come in a bag. There's a little bit of oil in the bag, which is good. So right off the bat, what I noticed was these pistons had an arrow. So they make them kind of dummy proof. They're stamped with STD on them. They also have a stamp of 1 on it or something like that. I'm not sure what that stamp is for. And it has an intake sign just like the stock pistons, which actually makes it very dummy proof and easy to put to install, because a lot of the top aftermarket pistons, they won't tell you. You're just gonna have to either go by the valve reliefs, or you're just gonna have to call a manufacturer or whatever and try to figure it out. But most of the time you can tell by the valve reliefs, unless it's a flat top piston, which shouldn't matter at that point. But just a way to tell if it doesn't say intake. The intake valve reliefs are always going to be bigger. Just like here, you can see these are smaller, because the intake valves are always going to be bigger than the exhaust. So these are a full floating piston setup, which means that unlike the stock piston, the rod is going to be pressed on the wrist pin. This, on the other hand, is not. And I can show you. Just get this out of the way. The piston rings themselves, or the pistons themselves, also from what I was reading, they're designed to share like the same alloy as like the Mitsubishi pistons. So I guess they're a stronger piston from stock, from the stock of what Honda makes. So they probably, most likely, they're going to be able to take a lot more power than a stock Honda piston, which is why I went with them. But just to show you guys the full floating, I had already fitted this earlier, but what I love also is that the clearance is so tight between the wrist pin and the rod. So you literally got to wiggle the piston or the wrist pin a little bit in there into the rod. So you can see full floating. I didn't have to press it or anything, unlike the stock ones. I actually have a stock one laying around. So this is the stock LS one that I actually took off my block. You can see here there's no clips at all. It's a little dirty from sawdust, but there's no clips at all in there. That's because the rod itself, or the wrist pin itself, was pressed into the rod. In order to get these out, they're like super hard. I've never tried them myself. I don't want to try because I've heard stories where you can ruin the piston, and that's no bueno. So if I ever did it, I would have to send it out to the shop, let them do it. I'm sure I could figure it out, but if I'm doing a stock rebuild, I don't want to end up messing up the piston. And it's a good piston still, it just needs to be cleaned up and all that stuff. Stock LS piston. So that's that. Got my gloves all dirty now. But yeah, so these are full floating system. The pistons themselves also, if I remember correctly, were knock resistant coating. They have like this coating on them that aids in knock. It'll help it take more abuse. Not that your engine should be knocking anyway, but if it happens to happen, they're going to be able to take a little bit more abuse than your normal stock Honda piston. The skirts, they were polished to a dull finish. I guess that's supposed to help prevent heat spots or some kind of heat transfer to the cylinder walls or something like that. But yeah, I'm confident in these pistons. The rods, obviously, I'm confident in them. Like I said, my goal is to get these things up to at least 500 horsepower. I don't plan on going any more than that. If I go any more than that, it'll just be kind of like a send it type of thing. But I just want to go 500. That's my goal. I'm trying to achieve that, and I'm not gonna try to go any more than that. I've seen videos of people with these same pistons and rods, and they send them well over 700 horsepower. I've seen a video where they make almost 800 horsepower. So I'm confident they're going to do what I want to do. So yeah, those are the pistons and rods. Wish I could show you guys right now what I'm going to be doing, putting them in and stuff like that. But like I said, I want to get some plastic gauge. I have the bearings here for the rod bearings. I had already measured the journals and all that stuff. But I want to make sure that the rod bearings are going to fit well and they're going to be in the proper clearance before I go ahead and assemble everything. The block is already all set and the crank is all polished and all that stuff, so it's a bummer I can't assemble it right now, but I thought I had plastic gauge down here and I don't, so I just decided to make a video anyway. What's it going to hurt, right? But really happy with these pistons. They're everything I expected from doing my research. I didn't expect anything grand. I just thought it's really interesting how they got the, if I pull out the stock piston, they really captured really well the stamping of the intake, especially the arrow. So I'm not sure what went on there as far as the casting, but the mold or anything, but they look very similar compared to the stock ones, which is it's acceptable. Not acceptable, but it's expected. It's expected because it says in the description it's a stock replica. So we're gonna send it with those. I'm gonna make a separate video on the measuring and stuff like that of the rod bearings and how to torque them and all that stuff. So when I get the plastic gauge, I'll make another video, but as far as this video, I'm probably just going to cut it right now and go from there. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. I'm so sorry it was short, but I just wanted to get some content out there and keep you guys updated on what's been going on. I was excited to get these pistons and rods in, so I just had to share it. So thanks for guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Sup.